You all for the day of FDP. The session is about the IPR as catalyst for academic startups. And today we have our resource person, Mr. Vineeth Kumar SR, project engineer at KSCST Bengaluru. To officially welcome him, I invite the head of the department to hand over the sampling to the resource person. Mr. Vineeth Kumar SR completed his graduation in mechanical engineering and pursued his master's degree in mission design. Soon after, he started his career in aero engine domain as a stress analyst at Science Limited, Hyderabad. Later, he joined West Global Engineering Services Private Limited, Bengaluru, and continued to work in the same domain. During this period of 10 years, he worked on various projects of civil aircraft engines. He joined KSCST in 2021. He worked in the Karnataka Digital Heritage Project, which involved the digital documentation of heritage monuments of the state using 3D laser scanning, and also worked in the Science of Digital Economy Working Group held in Bangalore. Mr. Vineeth is involved in various activities of Patent Information Center and Technology and Innovation Support Center of KSCST, such as conducting prior art search for the inventions from academic institutes and startups, assisting in establishment of IP cells and visitor consultation. He is leading the project on the pharmaceutical industrial effluent treatment through plasma process for improved recycling in association with IASC. Welcome you, sir.
Thank So today just I will first talk about the intellectual property rights. I think probably most of you are aware of this already, but still just I will give you the touches. And later we will move to how it helps in starting of the academic starting as well as experience. Now the thing is that we see outside probably maybe a person comes up with some invention of some for example, a nanomaterial coating. First we will understand what is intellectual property and intellectual property rights. Okay, so intellectual very often we use them interchangeably, but still actually there's a difference exists. See, the intellectual property is something like it's a creation of human mind. For example, say a person has come up with some invention, say a nano coating or some solar cell. See, solar cell is nowadays a lot of promotion is there from the government side, and in fact it's a clean energy. And for example, here one of the important, one of the major challenges, the cleaning of the solar cell. Over a period of time, since it is exposed to, it is kept outside because it has to be exposed to sunlight. So over a period of time, dust will deposit. So as dust keep on depositing, what happens? The efficiency of the solar cell comes down. So cleaning is required. Nowadays, actually, we use some robotic cleaning. Say, for example, some person comes up with some nano coating. Okay, say it is something like that. It repels the dust. Say dust automatically slides. So that at the minimum wattage, it can be cleaned up. So the maintenance becomes quite easy. So what happens is, say this is having some kind of advantage. Say it attracts the industries. Then the industries comes forward, probably interested to invest in the technology, and they will be seeking the technology. Okay, and probably they will come for some kind of a negotiation. They are ready to buy the technology. Similarly, a person running a shop, serving some idli vada, comes up with some new recipes that will enhance the taste of the idli and vada. Okay, so with that, see, it attracts lot of customers, and then so they could be able to afford it for some higher price. Similarly, the person comes up with some innovative, creative painting, and that will be kept on display in some exhibition, and obviously it attracts many people. Then actually probably some the visitors, they will be ready to buy it from some reasonable amount. So here what is that is, see, whatever that, it can be painting, or it can be technology, or it can be a kind of some kind of recipe. These are all a kind of a creation of human mind, which are having some commercial value. Which are having some so which are having some commercial value. So far actually, so to the common people, I mean, the property means it all about the physical property. Right? It is one can touch people, okay, see the land and wood, okay, or the vehicle, whatever it may be. So which we can see. But this intellectual property is something like that, which it is not visible, but however it's a property. So as I mentioned, it's a creation of human mind. Okay, it is having some commercial value. Whatever I told just now. See here, see there is some value for whatever the creation. They are all human creation. They are having some kind of a commercial value. So these are called intellectual property. So here they are categorized into three types. One is the invention. Inventions are the outcome of the R&D. Second thing is the literary work, artistic work. Okay, so there's some novels. It can be poetry. It can be some kind of sculpture. Okay, so it can be a cinematography. Okay, even photography also. Okay, music. See, these are all comes under the creative, so literary and artistic work. This is one type of creations. And there is a symbol, business logos. Okay, some creative designs. Okay, say chair design. It can be something. If you go to the IPR, so you will see a lot of household items. You place the items. They are having some creative design, right? They are very attractive, and sometimes they are very ergonomic, correct? Very easy to handle and easy to use. Okay, so they are all having a design protection. That's also kind of an intellectual property. Okay. See, these are all the creations of human mind. Now, what is intellectual property rights? When these intellectual property, when this is protected under the law, okay, when it's protected under the law, then the creator or the inventor of that particular property or the owner of the property, so he will gain a legal right over it. Due to this, so he will get an exclusive right, so that only the creator or inventor, or it can be whoever may be so he can commercially exploit, but not others. So only he can make a business out of it. Only he can sell it. Only he can use the technology to manufacture it. Only he can export the technology. Only he can license it, but not others. Only that person can do it. So this is the specialty of the intellectual property right. So that is called exclusive. This is called exclusive right. So only the owner can do that, but not others. Others are prevented from doing that. In case if others tries to do that, then probably the owner can file infringement case. Okay, so that is called that's how the intellectual property right. It protects the the creation of the intellectual creation of that owner. And next, now as I mentioned, the intellectual property right, it is having an exclusive right. That means only the person can commercially exploit. Not others, okay. Second, but however, others can go through that particular information. He can make use of that information for further study research. That person, that can be done. Second thing is balancing creator and public interest. So what does it mean? For example, you are filing for the patent. The important requirement is say you are filing the patent application to the Indian Patent Office. Once it is filed, what happens is after 18 months, see, standard duration is 18 months. So fast track mode also it is possible to publish it within 1 month. That's all. So it gets published. That means in Indian Patent Office database, it will get published. Everyone can go through your invention or whatever it may be. So you are the so everyone can see. That means you are disclosing it to everyone. So it has to be disclosed. See, as I mentioned. Others can go through it. Others can make use of this knowledge for the further research purpose, but they cannot do business out of it. You got the point. So that's the one thing. See here, what happens is, see, because of the right, the IP rights, okay, the creator will have an advantage of the monopoly over his invention. That means only he can commercially exploit, but not others. Whereas the other public, what they can do. So they can use it for further research work, and moreover, so you will also come to know that okay, what is the status, so what is the research and development, what is the accumulated in this particular area. For example, say you have taken up, say you are working in specific area, there you thought to take up some research work, okay, you thought to do some kind of say you are in you wanted to say come up with some, so you found some problem, so you are in a process of like coming up with some, to create a solution with respect to your problem. So in that case, probably it's very important to understand what are the solutions available, what are the work which has happened in this particular area. Okay, based on that, so you have to see what you can do further next, what is the gap and what you can do, whether you can fill the gap. So this is where your work will add up the value with respect to when compared to the existing. So this one it's a public interest. And another thing is what happens is that there are some intellectual IP, the Patent Act, where actually some with respect to licensing and all, there are compulsory licensing, other things are there actually legally, because see, the person may be having some kind of a monopoly over it. For example, there is some medicine, say one person has come up with a very effective medicine for some disease, okay. So he thought that okay, there is no other medicine available. And with that, he thought okay, he can just make a very good business. It is having a huge demand. Then he like started into he hiked up the price. Okay, probably he has made that. So because only he can decide the price. Okay, so he has come up with maybe very high expensive, very high price. Or he ultimately probably even if he like give it to licensing for a very higher rate, that makes the medicine very expensive. Just for example, if you see any in the market, especially in the medicinal industry, if any new medicine comes up, say it's having very effective in curing the disease, obviously it will be very expensive. Especially nowadays cancer drugs, they are very expensive. Correct? So where and all most of the money goes actually when in getting the license, probably where they have invested in R&D. But still, see in this case where many companies, they want to make more huge profit out of it. But yes, in case if that medicine is very necessary, then the government can interfere and it can probably come up with some reasonable rate so that he has to compulsorily give it license into a particular or eligible industry which can manufacture the drug. I'm saying just an example. There are some classes actually which can be governed by IP law. It doesn't mean that he can have some monopoly over whatever the creation he has made and with some cost of the life of the people. Something like he can play with okay. That's one thing. And the next is the territorial nature. What is territorial nature is, for example, see, IPR is granted in India. You have filed patent application in India. If it is granted in India, then you will get a protection only in India. Whereas in other country, person in maybe US, UK, or maybe some other country and Africa, so he can easily copy your invention. He can commercially exploit it. You cannot stop it. If you want to stop, you have to go there and file it. In this case, what happens is generally what people do, say if some person has done some invention and it is having some commercial potential, he will identify whichever the country where actually his technology is very much applied, okay, very much useful, the business is there. So he will identify the country. In those countries only he will seek the protection. Generally, initially it is filed in India. Later, if we require the protection in the other country, there are the foreign filing. There are various channels. One is the conventional route, and then the patent cooperation treaty. Okay, so through that channel we can file in the multiple countries. It is possible, whichever country. But of course, in filing in the other countries, it is quite expensive compared to India. But still, as long as we have the business, it's very important to protect our creation or the invention. Next, limited time period. What is limited time period? For example, so patent is granted. So as you know, it is a 20 years time. Okay. Similarly, design is 15 years or 10 years. You can extend up to 15 years. And okay, is it okay if I stand or rather I will be facing only few people? It's okay. Right. Yeah. I'm not doing it. Okay. So it doesn't mean that actually limited time period. So only for limited time period. After that it will get expired. So probably it will come. Anyone can commercially exploit it. So now I think probably one best example is Pradhan Mantri Jana Aushadhi. Okay, there actually you will see the very cheap medicines. Cheaper rates. But if you see most of them, they are all like they have come back. They have been invented long back, and their paid licenses have expired. So now it has come to public domain. Then anyone can manufacture it. So any company can manufacture it. He need not have to get the license from the person who invented. Then the medicines becomes obviously, whatever the product is, then it becomes cheaper. I have just given one example. got my point, no? This is how actually, later actually, so anyone can use it, okay? So that's one thing. Then, buy, sell, license, as I mentioned, just like your land, house, you can buy it, you can sell it. Suppose if you are an entrepreneur, you are interested in businessman, say like you can buy the technology from the technology provider, okay? And if you are, say, inventor, you have come up with some technology, you have protected it, filing the patent, you have the patent right, then you can license it for a limited time period, or you can also sell it. It is like assigning the right, then for some royalty amount, okay? And even exchange it also. It happens between the two organization business entity. Say they are working in similar area and they are having some patent. Say A holds some type of patent, similarly B holds a similar type of patent, okay? But these two patents are needed for both, okay, for to run the business. Then what they do, they come up with some negotiation, they exchange the patent. That is also possible, okay? Legal enforcement. This is very important. See, IPR is just a right. See, it prevents the other. If someone tries to infringe your say your IP rights, okay, then you can file an infringement case against them. Then there will be a kind of remedies in the sense it can be civil or criminal remedies is possible. In case of patent, we say civil remedy. That means there will be a, say, in case if the person is found really infringing your like patent right, see, he is copying your technology, then he has to, one is like court will first he can stop him to manufacture those items using your technology. That is called injection order, okay? So it can be a temporary or permanent injection order. Then the person will be completely stopped from using your invention, okay? In any, it can be a manufacturing or whatever it may be. Second thing is, if he has already manufactured so many items, he has just sold many things, he has made huge profit, then the court will ask him to pay the damage which he has caused to the business, okay? So this is how the legal remedy is provided. And a few type of intellectual property, especially copyrights, trademark and all, the criminal remedy is also there. That means if the person is found actually say copying the similar copyrighted work or trademark, then probably even he will be taken to even police custodians. Okay, that's criminal remedy. Okay, both civil as well as criminal remedy. So that's called legal enforcement. Okay. See, these are all the type. Okay. Now, just as I mentioned, these are all the various types of intellectual properties. Okay? Now, patent, as I mentioned, inventions are all protected under patents. Okay, whatever it may be, they are all come up to. Now, after that, the validity term is 20 years. Here, what is important is novelty, inventive step, and industrial application. These three are the major criteria to qualify it as an invention, okay, as per the Indian Patent Act. So I will explain these things later, okay. Next, copyrights, literary artistic works, as I said, music, drama, okay, novels, and cinematography, photos, okay, sound recording, all these things can be protected under copyright. Here, in case of literary work, it is life of the author plus 60 years, okay. After that only probably actually, so that is the duration, okay. The copyright will be there, and probably that's for the literary work. But I think cinematography and various things, it varies actually, okay. Then industrial design. Industrial design, see there is a creative items, they can be protected under design. See here only aesthetic appearance, okay, that can be protected under design, but not any functionality, not any principle of construction. So like patents, okay. So that those things cannot be protected. Only the outer view, okay, in terms of a like it can be a shape, or it can be an ornamentation kind of thing, or it can be a color, combination of colors, patterns, so etc. I will just come to this later. So these are the different features, okay, which you can judge by visually, okay. These things can be protected under design. and trademark. So as I mentioned, most of the industrially manufactured goods, whatever we see, they are all sold under a particular brand, right? This trademark represent goods or services which are sold under a particular company. Okay, they identify the business. Next, trade secret. See, trade secret, at present there is no law in India which can govern the trade secret, okay, to protect the trade secret. As long as it is maintained as secret, it is trade secret. Just for example, like a Coca-Cola recipe, see, it is maintained, still it is maintained as a trade secret. And Intel company, some of the manufacturing technology, still actually it has kept it as a trade secret. It has not disclosed, okay. See, like that, there are few things actually which are maintained still as a trade secret, okay, in many successful products, okay, so far. So it all depends on the type of strategy the company follows, okay. Next is geographical indication. Karnataka actually having particular geographical indication. What are these geographical indications? See, for example, a product, okay, it is originating from some geography, and it possesses some unique characteristics. Because of that geography, it can come from the weather, or it can come from the soil, okay, or it can be from the some unique skill, okay, which our community is having, okay, in case of craft work. These are all two varieties. One is the farm produce, like agriculture crops, so it can be, for example, say Kodagina Kittle, and moreover, even what is it, mango, curry shad mango from Ankola, and even in Bengaluru, Deva and Chakota, see, and the blue grapes, they are all protected. They possess some unique taste or unique characteristics because of that particular geography. See, and when it's grown in that area only, they will have that they possess the characteristics. So because of this, they are protected under in the geographical indication. Similarly, Bidri work, artistic work, they can be also protected. Bidri work. See, this is from the Bidar. It is a well-known art. I think it is. It is practiced from many centuries. Like I think it came to the Sultan, maybe the rulers who were ruling in that area. So from that time it came to existence, and till now it is practiced. Okay, but it is also protected under, and it involves some a unique skill, a craftsman work. Okay. Next, Navagundari. It is from Dharwad. Similarly, this is also having but remember, this is a community right? It doesn't belong to any individual. There are huge communities, say in that area. Probably they are growing that particular crop, or they are practicing that particular artwork. Okay, so generally, there is some kind of association will be there, societies will be there. Okay, so these applications are filed in the name of the society. Those who are the members of the society, so they are all having their get the right. It is like that. Next, plant variety protection. If any new varieties come, say developed, it is having some advantage. For example, in case of nutrition, say some new varieties developed, it provides, it gives some high yield, and it has a resistance to the floods. So such kind of plant varieties can be protected under plant variety protection. In Karnataka, Siddha Rasu anta kelidira. Siddha Rasu anta Kempu akade ತುಮಕೂರು ಆ ಕಡೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸಿದ್ಧಾರಸ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸಿದ್ಧಾರಸ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ that has been protected under this plant variety. But anyhow, it's a developed one actually. It's not like this is geographical indication is something here that whatever the farm produces comes. For example, Dayananda, Chakota, and they have been produced from many generations. Okay, so those are protected under GI. Okay. It is like some kind of a traditional knowledge. It's also part of traditional knowledge, I can say. Because those people also know, like, it doesn't mean that they grow automatically. So they require human interference, and farmers will be like growing those particular crops. Okay, so from many generations. So those are protected under geographical indication. But these plant varieties, they are developed. Okay, developed ones, new varieties. And then integrated circuit design. Integrated circuit design means it's like this whatever the even in the I think in electronics circuit, printed circuit, okay, semiconductor printed circuit. So those things can be protected under this layout design. This is separate category, but I think so far in India we won't see much application. Very few like countable and finger countable applications we can see this. Okay, these are various types of intellectual property rights. Okay, we get protected. So first we have to identify what what is the what type of IP to be protected. Based on we have to see. Okay, next. So as I mentioned, same thing. So just as I mean, it's only about term and granting period. All these things. Granting period is an approximate. Okay, there is no hard and fast rule. It is only this much time it will require like that. Okay, sometimes it can take even longer than that. Okay, so now I will move to the next slide. Sometimes the intellectual property rights. So it can come several product come as a bundle of rights. It may not be associated with one product. As we see here, tea. If you go to any shop, probably some say Starbucks or Red Bull. So here we see like there the coffee or tea will be served. See there, probably we can expect a varieties of IPs, intellectual property associated with it. For example, say tea. Tea, where it starts, tea, it is grown in a various area. For example, a tea grown in a particular area, it can be protected under GI. For example, Darjeeling tea, it is protected under GI. In Karnataka also, I think coffee is protected. Okay. Now, similarly, the tea it has to be chopped and it has to be made into a powder. So, tea powder, making the process of making tea powder, that can be protected under patent. Tea filtering solution, that can be protected under patent. And then after that, that tea cup, okay, it can be protected, a unique cup design, it can be protected under design. Then the tea powder is packed and sold in some brand, that brand name can be protected under trademark. Okay, like this. See, various types of intellectual property is possible. For example, mobile. We take mobile phone. That is a design. The outer design can be protected under design. Similarly, the technology, various technology associated with touch screen technology, maybe microprocessor technology. So various technology associated with phone, it can be protected under patent. And then this mobile phone manufactured by various companies, they are sold under different brand names, maybe Motorola or Samsung or Apple, right? These are the brand names, okay? So they can be protected under patent. Next, why IPR is so important in the industry? For example, if you see, say here, can you see this? See, this is the one data, statistical data taken. In 1975 and 2020. 1975, you see, in the total company value, around 17% of the value, it is derived from intangible assets. Okay, only 17%. Around 83% is derived from tangible. Tangible in the sense which is visible. It can be building, its infrastructure, manufacturing equipments. Okay, manufacturing plant. See, these are the tangible. Okay, and only 17% of the company value was derived from the intangible. Intangible means we cannot see. They are mostly in the form of intellectual property. Whereas now in 2020, see the number got reversed. Only 10% is in the intangible form. Remaining 90% is in the intangible. Intangible in the sense, okay, same right. Here, why it is so important? Why is the company most of the nowadays company values derived from the intangible assets? Why the companies give more importance in R&D and this IP portfolio generation, especially that the top 500 technology-based company. Here, so as a time progresses, the requirement of the customer changes and new problems comes up. Accordingly, industries also comes up with very innovative solutions. Now, it is very important whenever they come up with very innovative solutions. So they should they ensure that others should not copy it. Okay, that's why they first protect it by filing the IP. Okay, once they protect it, only they can be able to manufacture the technology using that innovative technology. Only their product will be very innovative. So whereas others cannot copy their product. That's how. So they come up with very innovative products and they capture the market. That's why the IP matters a lot in the industry. So these are the IP offices. Now, some patents, as I mentioned, it is similar to it's also an exclusive right. Okay. So what exclusive right? Same thing. So only an inventor or the owner of the owner who is holding the patent rights, only he will be able to commercially exploit. In the sense, will make, use, sell, okay, license it. Whereas others cannot do that. Others are stopped. And yes, we disclose it. 20 years is the protection the validity, and it's a territorial. Now, it is beautiful invention. What exactly invention? Remember, in India, the process of registering the patent, okay, starting from filing to grant, it is completely governed by Indian Patent Act. Okay, it was enacted in 1970, the first act, and after that, many amendments have happened. Okay, various amendments have happened in terms of that, both acts as well as the rules. Okay, so as per that, this entire patent filing procedure is covered. Okay, as per that, the invention. What is invention? Invention means it is a new product or the process which involves an inventive step and has an industrial applicability. So, what is new? New means, see, it should not be disclosed to the public, or disclosed to the public by publication in any document. Okay, it should not be published anywhere or in any country, not only in India. Remember, here beauty is that when you file for patent application in India, okay, when the patent is granted, so you will get a right only in India. Okay, that protection will get only in India. Whereas, while searching with respect to novelty, it is searched worldwide. That means, so your type of invention or the invention which is similar to your invention should not be present anywhere in the world, not only in India, anywhere in the world. Okay, and it should not be used. For example, say if you search in the patent database, you will not find any similar type of invention. But somewhere in the country, such kind of invention is already in practical use. Then also it will pose the objection. Okay, so then also it will not meet the novelty criteria. And inventive step. What is inventive step? See, novelty, correct? It should not be, and it should not be anticipated also, anticipated publication. Okay. Now, before, all these things are before the date of filing. Remember, the date of filing is very important. See, that's why always companies, if you see nowadays, wherever they you see a lot of, we are living in a very competitive world. You see a lot of people working in a similar area. Now, who files first, he will get the, say for example, two people, A and B are working in the same area, almost same area they are doing. But whoever files, suppose A files the application first, maybe B has come up with same result, and he files the application maybe after some 1 week or 15 days. Then the application of A will get the grant, not the B, because A has filed it first. See, this is one thing, and this is because when A is filed, after that when B starts filing, for him what happens is, see, before his date of filing, already A has filed, that will act as a prior order. Then he cannot get the grant because already somebody has filed it. See, this is the issue. Now, inventive step is what? It is a feature. For example, a technical, as I mentioned, say you have come up, say one person has come up with a solar panel with some nano coating. Nano coating, it repels the dust. See, nano coating, it repels the dust. Okay, this is kind of some technical enhancement, and with this, the efficiency of the solar panel is maintained. The efficiency will not come down over a period of time because the dust will repel. It is slide down, and it will not, the efficiency is maintained. This is called technical advancement. And due to this, say the output electricity, whatever there is there, so from the output electricity also it will not come down, okay? So a constant output is maintained. Because of that, say there will be more increase in the output compared to the other case, and due to this, he will be able to generate more revenue out of it. Correct? This is called what is that? Economic significance. So, your invention either it should have technical advancement or it should have economic significance, or it should have both. Okay, so that should be there. And second one, it should not be obvious to a person who is skilled in that. What do you mean by that? So, should not be obvious in for example, you got obvious. Say, you have seen a chair. A chair, you have come up with a chair, okay? A chair with inbuilt Bluetooth speaker and a foldable laptop table. This is the invention, for example. Now you searched in the prior. You have come up with this one invention already mentioning a chair with a Bluetooth speaker. And you got another document, invention, where actually a chair with foldable laptop table is there. Okay, a chair with a Bluetooth speaker in one document. Another person is already having the invention, okay, published in the patent document, where that is chair with similar foldable laptop table. Now say your invention, a chair with a Bluetooth speaker laptop table. Now what happens? See, it is like you are combined, A and B are combined. See, this kind of a mere combination, okay, it will not produce, going to produce any enhanced effect. Then it cannot qualify this criteria. That is, it is not obvious to the person who is skilled in the art. Okay, so that is what we say. See, it is obvious. It's a mere combination. It's something like it is an obvious, but what it says, it should not be obvious to a person who is skilled in art. He should not be come up with this invention by simple combining the existing one. You got my point, no? Because what we see is, I'm very sorry to say, especially in the academic projects, what we are seeing, especially in the academic student projects, I mean, since the KSCST, this is many things actually. So we are seeing that actually, like people, I mean, they come up with this, okay, that it looks very innovative and something like novel. But if you break down these things, each and everything, okay, they are all actually already presenting one or other documents. Now when you club it, it can be a very good creative one. However, when you file for the patent, probably they fail to get the patent because of this criteria. It will not go to this criteria. So this industrial applicability. For example, in say thermos flask. Okay. It is having a clip, okay, to hook it to the, for example, diamond, and it is having some temperature display, okay. It can measure the temperature, display the temperature of the water inside this one. Say one person has already having a flask with a temperature display, okay. Another person is having say thermal flask or the water bottom bottle with hook. It can be attached to the bag or any tool, okay, anything, okay. Now, see, these two documents are there already. Now, if they are combined, then it will not qualify the inventive step. So this is the point here, okay. Now, industrial applicability. Industrial applicability means it should be manufactured, made in the industry, okay. And it should not fall within some of the provisions of the section 4, 3 and 4 of the Act. Prior to the see what is prior, already existing information. The existing information maybe it can be already published a document, or it may be already presented somewhere, or it already it's already in use. It can be anything. So ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ I think probably you faculty probably previously I think you have like practice of publishing in various journals papers, correct? I think that is going to add some of the value. Whereas now, but because what happens when you publish it, see, you do not fulfill the criteria novelty. Now that's why our Indian Indian Patent Act now one clause is introduced to help you with faculty. Say if you have already filed some, if you are already published in a journal document, there is some 12 months grace period is given. Within 12 months, you can file the patent application. Okay, still even though you have published some journal, okay, even though published in journal, then at least still it will be considered. But within 12 months of publication, you have to file. That's why the very important thing is, see, if you come up with any new invention, okay, you first search for this criteria, whether it will meet the criteria, then you don't publish it, you first file it. After that, you can publish it. Okay? If you publish it first, after that, if you try to file it, then probably it fails to meet the novelty criteria. Okay? Because it shows that your document will itself become a prior art. See, it doesn't. What happens is, say, if the same thing is identified, say, even though it is your work, you are published, then they will not allow, the Patent Act will not allow to take it further, because it says that yes, the novelty criteria is not met. But still, now this provision has been given to you, especially for these faculties. Okay, because you can make use of that particular.
So same work we can publish in patent and journal both.
Yeah. First you file the patent. Later you can publish it. Journal. See, whatever when journal it is published, of course you get the credit, fine, everything will be there. But whereas if you file the patent, that will become your right. Only you can commercially exploit it, not others. If you publish in papers, others can copy your invention, others can copy your idea. You got the point, no? So that is the thing.
So I have two questions for us with respect to this one. See, suppose if we publish papers in journals or something, we have the subscription, so it means that copyrights are with the publisher.
Right.
Okay. Now, once again, I file a patent. Okay, as you said, within 12 months I do it. Now, since the copyright is already with the publisher, if I do this with respect to the patent by filing, then who will be having the rights?
Right. See, copyright, I will tell you. Copyright, what happens is, right, you have to copyright. It will protect. It will not protect the idea. It will only what I can say. It will not protect the original idea. Okay. So it will protect how it is presented. For example.
No, I'm not talking about this copyright, sir. I'm just talking about the journal. See, there actually, when we fill the licensing, there we have multiple options like CC, CC,
Right.
These kind of licensing we do it.
Right. So, but I think see the same one exactly you are going to file the patent or it. But I think in that case you should be careful. I don't know how it works. Probably you should just stop to it. Yeah, in fact,
Because even authors are not having rights to use it. If the copyrights are with the publisher.
But I think you can do that, because see here in the patent only the invention is protected. Okay, the functionality, the principle of construction, how it works. Okay, how the technology works, how your invention works. Okay, how it is built, what functions it carries out. So those things are protected. Okay, it is not like the copyright. What happens? No, they have copyright protection. See, the copyright will protect only the expression of idea. Okay, but in this case, probably it is good to just talk with them once actually, probably. But I believe it is possible. That's why.
If it is open access, it's possible, as because rights are with us. With the author. But when we go with the subscription base, the rights are with the publisher. Even if I want to make it commercial,
but when
I have to pay you from there.
Yes, obviously.
So that problem comes. That's what I just want to ask this question.
Yeah, then if it is correct subscription based, then probably yes, they may hold the right. Then in that case, definitely they may not allow. but definitely you should take it. That's why the easiest way is now onwards, any invention, any work is there, better first you file the patent and afterwards. But probably yes, it may happen that like all the work probably may not qualify the patent. In that case, you can, if it is not qualifying, then you can file for you can publish it. But the first priority will be given to this. This is the first check. So whether it's eligible for patent, then file the patent. Because now this carries more weightage. But I don't know how in the academic institution. I mean, still the publishing is also having value. But nowadays, this is because here you will get a right over it, and moreover, you can anything if it is having some very good commercial potential, then probably you can also sell your technology. You can license it, okay, or it can be commercialized. Okay, so that chance is there. So this is one.
And one more question. Say, I published patent or even assume that's granted, okay? Since I'm from the institution background, so mostly my applicant will be the college is the applicant. I'm the inventor. Assume that I came out of the institution, okay? And I just want to execute that patent what we got already. I want to execute it. Okay, so now just tell me the rights are with that institution or with that inventor.
See, yeah, wait. You want to see, as per the Patent Act, here there are two things comes into picture. One is the applicant, second is the inventor. Okay? Now here one thing is the inventor himself can be an applicant, that is possible. But in some cases, inventor will be different, applicant will be different. In case of institution, in case of companies, or here the inventors are always different from the applicant. Applicant will be organization or your education institution, they will be the applicant, and inventors are individuals, they are the employees of the who are working work from the research. Okay. Now, as per the Patent Act, the complete rights will be with the applicant. Okay, there is no rights. He will not get any right. The inventor will not have any right over the invention. Only the applicant, his name will be there, but applicant will have right. But this is where the institutional IPR policy comes into picture. That's why your institution should have IPR policy. See, that means under the IPR policy, in all the institution, including ISA and all, see, they will have very robust IPR policy. This what this IPR policy has to do. As per that, it has to say here where and all this, especially the model that comes into picture is whenever there is like revenue generation happens from that invention. Whenever there is a kind of you are going for commercializing it, okay, then there will be some revenue generation. Then the revenue share is the where actually the inventor should also get some share. That's why, so any kind of such revenue generation happens, then there will have policy that the inventor will get some percentage of that, the institution will get some percentage. I mean, many institutions which are like promoting the IPs, which are promoting the faculties to find more and more IP, then say probably the percentage of share to the inventor will be more, whereas the institution it is less, maybe 30%, 70% will go to the inventor, because inventor is the one who has put a hard effort, correct, in coming up with this invention. So it will go to that. But I think it all depends on the institution, how institutions would like to frame the policy. It is very important that your institution should have the IPR policy first in place, okay? So when all these things has to happen. I mean, as you said, definitely the conflict is going to happen. But one more question you asked, whether after leaving the institution, whether the inventor will have right over it, probably that has to be dependent on policy itself. Okay. Yes, and now I think previously, since actually I am facilitating this IP, I am seeing that actually many applications have been tried in the name of faculty. And I think now, but what happens is, see, it's very important that your organization should also get some good score with respect to some AICD and correct, there's some kind of accreditation. And that committee will come in front of this. Your organization should also show the good performance and some scores actually. The IPR is the one actually which is also add some value to it. Now which is accounted is one, the IPs which are filed in the name of the institutions are accounted. That's why probably I don't know whether institution, in your institution may be also stressing for the same thing. But at the same time, it's very important that your institution should also finance for filing for the application fee of the patent. Okay, so it's because since they are going to own the right over it, say actually in fact the protecting any invention of the patent will add a cost. There are two types of fees. One is the government fees. Okay, another is the if you are taking the help of the patent attorney, then probably the professional fees. Okay, the attorney fee will also add. Okay, generally what we see is like if you go for any attorney, I think at least they will charge maybe 40 to 50,000 till grant till it has to happen. Correct. That's the thing. Now, yeah, of course, it's very important that your institution should also invest in this actually, okay? And that's the one thing. But yeah, IPR policy is very important.
Because all nowadays, all faculty are filing patent, okay?
Correct.
They don't know the value of their product, what they are filing it now. If, as you said, if the institution is funding, if they execute that project, whatever they are filing it is funded by the institute, it's all what you said, it's all fine. But if someone comes with their own idea, okay, and if they file it on any organization name, and only the inventor name, the faculty names are coming as the inventor name. So in such cases, suppose if they comes out of that institution, so I just want to know.
Yes, and that's what actually see. It has to be probably defined in the policy itself. Suppose if the institution comes out of this institution, then probably it's very tricky situation. Correct, actually. I mean, probably it has to be there in the
So the
policy.
IAC, this policy is there, IPR policy is there.
Yeah, IAC policy is there. IAC policy is there. IPR policy is there. Probably, if required, probably I can share this copy.
Yeah.
See, they have the policy. Probably this thing, probably I should also see actually how it works. But yeah, everywhere, not only IPR, I think some institution are also have the policies. I think, for example, JSS institution, they are also having that. Recently, they are actually coming up this particular number, actually, how much inventor should get, how much the institution should have that retain the revenue. So all these things are there. That's very important. The policy is very important. And the second thing is probably in policy, some kind of institution can define some incentives. Say one person has come up with, say, filing I will just tell you one point, okay, but I don't. Now the filing is, see, when you filing is one, anything can be filed. Okay, what happens when a patent application is filed after 18 months, it will just get published. One need not have to do anything. Okay. And just anything can be published. Same thing can be copy pasted work or maybe reproduced work can be just presented. Sorry, it will get published. Publishing is not a grant. Okay. See, publishing is disclosing whatever the invention is to the public. And after that, you have to request for the examination, and the request then they will examine the application. The Indian Patent Office, the team of the examiner, they will examine your who are all the subject matter experts. Okay, they will examine your application with respect to all these criteria, and they will just identify what are the issues or if there are any concerns or any objections are there. For example, if the invention is not disclosed, it has to be disclosed completely, or somewhere actually some document is found which is having the invention very similar to your invention, then how you define, or probably you have defined your invention, say for example, say invention is there, as per your invention, say claim is the one part where there is a legal policy, where you are saying that these are all certain things, it has these have been come up in our invention, then probably it's out of, say, you have got 6 points you have mentioned, out of these two things, maybe 2 points are the maybe 2 features we can say. So already available in the existing invention, then probably patent office will say, okay, you cut down these 2 claims, only reduce it to 4 claims. Like that also, all these things will happen in the examination, and after that they will send you the examination report. That is called first examination report. Okay. Now what happens is actually then you have to go through it, you have to respond to it. Okay. So you have to address all these things. Now when they are happy, okay, When everything is okay, it is compliant as per this, if it meets all this criteria, then okay, they will grant the petition. Otherwise, they are not happy, still they will need more clarification, they can call for hearing. Now, online hearing is like, so like after this, patent, everything is okay, patent is granted. This is where the real process starts actually, like from the examination of this, okay?
But still, even if it is published, still, it is already, the people are having rights up to 3 years, right? So even if it is published.
Right. Published is right. But probably some incentives can be provided for the grant actually. Grant. Publication, because I mean, it's all left even you, for example, say that's why probably you have IP cell.
We have IP cell and even we also have policy. The policy is like only the incentives. Like once any patent is filed and published on as the college team as an applicant, so they will get some kind of incentives.
Right.
But this revenue sharing, suppose if it is commercialized, so this revenue sharing and all, it's not included in the policy.
That has to be.
I just want to bring this to the notice of the IP cell. That's what
Definitely. Yes, you can bring it to this. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that's very important. Actually, that's a very important part of the policy. Okay. And probably some kind of you can also further some kind of support needs to be there. Say as I mentioned, so institution also reserves of funds to protect the IP. So how it is filed actually, whether the filing fee, everything is taken care by the institution?
Yes, they will take care.
Okay, that's fine, perfect. Okay, so because actually in certain institution what happens is like even the institution probably like such kind of facility will not be there. Funding, there is no reserve funds for that, then probably the faculties file. Okay, they only pay the filing fee. So in that case, lot of complications will happen. But I think yes, as long as your institution is taking care of the filing, this is perfect actually. Only thing is this part has to be introduced in the policy. Okay. So now, and very important thing is, see here. Okay, I will come to that. Now there are certain inventions which cannot be filed. So why I am saying is actually, okay, just I will take a few minutes to see this. Now first thing is certain kind of invention, even though they look like inventions, they are not patentable. What are these? One is any misleading invention, frivolous invention. Okay. For example, say in case of mechanical engineering, there is a perpetual motion machine. Has anyone heard about it? Perpetual means once you start it, it will keep on running without consuming any energy. Perpetual. They are against the thermodynamics law. So if somebody, for example, somebody comes up, okay, sir, say I have come up with some machine. Once I start, say here you can see this. There is a simulator. Say here a steel ball, see it again moves back, comes back to this position. Correct? See, in reality that is not possible. Somewhere in your invention, such kind of principle is identified, then straightforward it is rejected because it is against the well-established natural laws. It can be if it is say for example Newton's law of motion, thermodynamics law, they are all well-established natural law. Somewhere the invention is contradicting these things, natural law, then it is rejected. Okay. Then similarly, for example, 100% efficient engine. So far no one has come up with 100% efficient engine. It is not possible in reality. Okay. Even Dettol, if you hand wash also, it is written kills the germ 99.9%, but nowhere they will like 100%. Okay. Like similarly, misleading invention means somebody comes up with some bracelet, magic bracelet. If you wear it, the weight will reduce. Obviously, you will, okay. But in reality, that is not possible. And moreover, first of all, they can't substantiate how it will work, how it will function. So, they are called misleading invention. They cannot be protected under patents. Then, contrary to public order or morality. For example, so tomorrow comes up, one person comes up with some counterfeiting currency note. He can able to print a machine which can able to print some fake currency note, counterfeit currency notes. Then so such inventions cannot be protected because see it is like against the law, correct? So and second thing is for example somebody comes up with some a lock, okay, a door lock breaking system, okay, smart door lock breaking system. So if such inventions cannot be protected because if they are patented or if say it is like they are actually encouraging that invention, then tomorrow any lot of illegal things can happen, correct, robbery can happen, okay. So similarly, some which is injurious to human health. For example, say some pesticide is there, someone comes up with some pesticide which can kill the pest to a particular plant, okay, it will help in controlling the germs, these pests, at the same time very toxic, okay. So then in that case also such things cannot be protected under patent, okay. Similarly, environment, okay, if it is injurious to environment. For example, tomorrow somebody comes up with some one substance which is very similar to oil. Say it can be blended with your sunflower oil. So with the 200 ml sunflower oil, you can make 1 liter sunflower oil. So is it okay? It is say okay. So at the same time it is having some side effects. So then what happens? So it will affect the human health. So such inventions cannot be protected. That is a patent. And similarly, there is a difference between the discovery and invention. Discovery means already it is existing in nature by discovering, whereas invention is man-made. For example, say inventing a new substance, a radium, like the various elements, okay. See, such things cannot be protected under patent. It's just a discovery, discovering the new element, discovering the new principle. Say for Pythagoras theorem. In fact, it's very old theorem, but say some mathematical formulation or so it cannot be protected under patent. Okay, this is discovery. And then living and non-living substance. See, it's already existing in the nature. Living and non-living substance. We have identified that this cannot be protected. But there is a possibility, scope to protect the man-made microorganism. For example, I think in the US, one Chakravartin person, he comes up with an invention, a microbes, okay, microbacteria, which will break down the sea. Here in the sea, oil spillage is the major issue. During transportation, most of the oil transportation happens to the sea route. Oil spillage will be there, or maybe because of the oil spillage, so it spreads in the sea and it will affect the aquatic life. Now, he comes up with a microorganism. It will break down this petroleum oil, okay, and after that he seeks for the patent protection. And initially, actually, the patent office in the US patent office rejects it. Later, he moves to the court. Then the court, okay, finally gives the verdict that yes, it can be protected under patent because see, there is a human intervention, so it has to be cultivated in some controlled environment with the interference of the human. This is where the intellectual property lies. So I mean, where actually his mind comes into picture. Okay, that's how that's protected. Okay, so then a discovery of new form of medical discovery, new form of a noun substances. For example, say as I mentioned, what is that? There is one case actually, cancer drug. Novartis is the one company, okay, it produces the cancer drug. I forgot the cancer drug. See, initially it comes up with that drug, okay. Second, next time when it patent is able to get over, it comes up with the beta form of the drug and it files the patent application. But here, you know, when you especially it comes to in the drug formulation and this particular clause is very much they check against this clause. The thing is that, see, it can be a new form, but you know that particular substance, it has to improve the therapeutic efficacy. That means, say you are going to come with one medicine for medicine for one particular disease. Say it is going to cure the disease in 1 week. Then after that you come up with some new form of the drug. But that new form of the drug, if you want to patent it, okay, some similar kind of a drug, okay, say it is therapeutic efficacy is same, it is going to cure the disease in same, say 1 week, then probably they will not grant a patent. In case that one has some enhanced therapeutic efficacy, say for example effectively cures the disease, or it will cure the disease within a short time, then probably in that case, yes, there is a possibility of getting the patent for that particular substance. Then, as I mentioned, just a mixturing of the two substances, our substance it is prepared by mixing just two substances, and that substance will possess just a combination of the properties of these two substances. So such things cannot be protected. For example, there is a paracetamol. Paracetamol is an antipyretic drug. It is going to reduce the body temperature for fever. Similarly, brufen is an analgesic drug, painkiller. Say a person comes up with a drug by mixing these two, paracetamol and brufen. And this drug will possess these two characteristics, but it cannot be patented because it is just a mere combination. Similarly, arrangement of diseases, device, same thing is applicable. Clock we know, battery also we know. So method of agriculture, horticulture, treatment of human being. Remember, the medical treatment cannot be protected, whereas the medical devices can be protected. Okay. So the treatment, the method of treatment, it can be a method of what I can say. A curative method, or it can be a therapeutic method, or it can be a method of carrying out a surgery. See, whatever it may be there, this cannot be protected under patent. However, the devices, medical devices, they can be protected under the patent. And plant, animals, biological substances, they can be protected under patent. Okay. Similarly, mathematical models and usually artistic works, and the root method of performing mental act, method of playing a game, okay, this cannot be protected under the patent. And integrated circuit, it is protected, there is a separate category. And traditional knowledge, it cannot be protected under.
But now if you see the IP website, IP India website, there are only 4 categories: only patent, utility patent, and trademarks, and GI, and more copyrights. But for this IC, the integrated circuit patent is not available in India. IP India website. Suppose if we make a new combination of license chips, if I mean, so you want to fabricate, so the idea can be patented, right? So for that, can we go with the utility patent or only this one?
Oh no, only this one. There is separate options, but in that option, no, it is there separate provided in the link and so it can be fine. But only thing is there are very limited applications. I think it has not taken up, not an effective way to protect this. IP. That's why we don't see any much application, especially in India. We don't see any applications. Very few applications. Maybe finger countable applications you can see. That is the ones. Okay. So these are some of the clauses. Okay. We should not. Now design. So I don't.
We have 5 minutes break.
Okay. Fine.
Fine.
Take from KSCST office. So I am Dr. Payne, actually, I just asked madam to take it to my cab, so since it's late, I told start with
ಎಲ್ಲ year end activities ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ತುಂಬಾ
You might understand Kannada. Yes, sorry.
This is the problem. Then later I will do that also.
now see we are close to the financial year end.
Yeah, correct, yeah.
Find up this
So can you just little bit discuss about the startup?
Yeah, sure, definitely.
Because we have been listening to more about IPR. Like we had morning also little bit yesterday.
Oh, is it so?
Yeah, so IPR most of us are done here. So
fine.
we are not that much.
Yes, they will ask us what are NIP generated and
Yeah.
ask us to so like file their names, so all these things will be there. But no, there is no such class for that, and I think yes, you are. And in fact, this So now I will just move to the commercialization of IPR part, how what can be done by using this IPR. Now the main intention of filing the IPR, is to protect our invention, protect our invention associations, and we can only commercially exploit it. So that's the main intention. Now in academic also nowadays we are seeing that like faculties, many research and R&D work are being done as a part of the academic activities, right? So sometimes the faculties also do research work as part of the PhD program. So in this case, the outcome of the research work, any invention, so which is having some commercial potential, which having commercial applicability, then it is it can be there is a possibility for commercializing it. And and second thing is why it is IPR is required, it encourages it. See, because of that, the inventor will get the incentives. So obviously it encourages the researchers and students to further do more inventions, then it prevents the stealing of the idea by somebody else, and now obviously it will enhance the building the IP portfolio, it enhances the value of the education institution. Now what is a startup? Is it an MSME? So startup is something like, it's also a company, it works on the either development or the improvement of a technology driven product, new product or services, and here the DPIIT has a set of criteria for the startup. The DPIIT is an organization, Department for the Promotion of Industry and International Trade. It comes under the Department, Ministry of Industry and Commerce, Government of India. So this is the one which issues the startup certificate. So according to that, it should be within 10 years old from the date of incorporation. To call it as a startup, from the date of incorporation, it should be within 10 years old. Or maybe date of incorporation itself, you can apply for the startup and get the startup certificate. Okay. And its annual turnover should not exceed 100 crore, more than 100 crore in any of the previous year. Okay. As long as you call it as a startup. Okay. Now, what are the startup schemes in India? See, DPIIT, that startup seed fund is there. So, what it will do? It will provide some 20 lakhs support, okay, based on the proof of concept. And if you send the proof of concept, say your invention, and it will review it based on that. Okay, so it will decide whether to fund or not, and it can provide grant up to 20 lakhs. And further, to take it to the market, it can even provide up to 50 lakhs. Okay. Similarly, there are various other funding agency. For example, Fund of Funds for Startup. Okay, it is by SID India. Okay, and these are some of the financing institutions. And Karnataka has also got a startup policy. As per that, it provides again based on the proof of concept. Okay, based on the proof of idea, it will review and provide an initial capital like a seed fund. Okay, so for the equipment and facilities, and it also provides a recurring cost. Okay, for the management of technology business incubations for 3 years period, and for 3 years it can also have an income tax exemption. Okay. And for KSCST women entrepreneurs, so further there is a they can get a loan. Okay. So these are all the benefits. Now, the academic startup, they generally they originate from the university. They are just in ISC and all, they generally they are driven by faculties, researchers and students. So it's whatever the invention happens, okay, so that is taken as startup. Now what is important there? I will just go to this particular slide. See, can you see this here? A research, okay, it can fundamentally can be applied or industrial and even experimental. All those things it go to the like disclosure, technology transfer. What is technology transfer office? Generally, many IIT and all technology transfer office is there. See, what is that? It is technology transfer is identifying the outcome of the research, okay, research, and converting it to look for the analyzing it for the commercial application, okay, identify the R&D output, okay, and look for its commercial applications, okay, analyze for the commercial application. So if it is having some commercial application, then the technology transfer office will identify such inventions. First thing is that that technology evaluation is made. How this evaluation is made? Okay, so one thing is in terms of technology readiness level, that's very important. TRF level, because see that patent can be filed. See, and very important. Whatever the granted patents are there. See, there is no any hard and fast rule, or there is no any thumb rule that all the patents can be commercialized. No, but in reality it's not possible. In India, that commercialization rate is very, very low. To be frank, very low. See, if it's the industry, whichever the inventions which are happening in the industry, technologies which are protected by the industry, they are actually readily commercialized, because the industry is the one who is developing it for its own for its business purpose. So immediately it will be implemented. Whereas in academic, it is not the case, because academic people, transfer into entrepreneurs. Of course, it's quite challenging. The startup, say they also pose a lot of risk, because they work on the new technology. Okay, finding the market to survive in the market. So it is quite risky, right? Many startups, I think, in reality, so few startups could not be able to, over a period of time, they could not be able to find the market. Even though technology is good, they could not be able to find the market. That is also one of the major challenges. So now, very important thing is first, here disclosure has to happen. This technology transfer office will disclose, and then it has to be protected. Either if in case of technology, the patent comes into picture, right? when technology evaluation is made, like technology readiness level is the one. Second thing is commercially how much it will value. So the technology transfer office, it will involve engineers, okay, business analysts and inventors, and subject matter experts, okay, and few people from the maybe industry experts. See, all these people are involved in this, okay. Then this will consist, the technology transfer office will have all these people from various background. So these people work together. Then after that, see, as I mentioned, evaluation, then IPR protection. After that, see, the two things are possible. One is licensing to an established company already. Say your technology is very innovative and it is having some commercial applicability, okay, outside, and very much sought by the industry. Then probably you can approach industry. The industry may come forward also, and you can license the technology. So the industry will use the technology for its product services to enhance the value of the product, and so that it will improve the business. That's how the company will look for it, right? If I buy the technology, what value I can add to the product? How can I increase my revenue? Based on that, they will decide. And then based on the technology will be evaluated and it will gain the value. Okay, that is one. Second thing is incorporating into spin-off companies. Spin-off company is like the company like the technology which is the invention which is done in the university, colleges, academic institution, and from the using that invention, startup companies can be started. Okay, company, a separate company can be started, and that company can be run. But spin-off company is quite challenging, as I mentioned. In ISC, yes, few faculties are running such spin-off companies are there. Okay, and that's the one. That's another thing. So these two things are possible. And now what we are doing is, with respect to especially these things, see, especially you are connecting your IPR with the commercializing the IPR. One thing is, see, you people you do the somewhere actually you do such work and all fine. Second, you will come up with some solution and you will try to sell it probably. And the industry, if it finds really if it finds it useful, then probably it will come and probably and it is ready to buy the technology. That's the one thing. And for that, it should be your technology, whatever you are developing, it should be compatible with the industrial requirement, or industry, what industry needs, what industry problems. And second thing is identifying the problems in the industry, where actually they need a solution from like maybe other inventors. You can pitch in that. You can come up with the solution, and that is very easy to commercialize. You got the point. At the same time, you can hold IP, right? You can license it. So in this aspect, very recently we have taken the initiative, but still we have to work along. Say with a certain institution. So we are planning to like identify the industrial problem, maybe then. So we can give it to the institution like who are generally having some kind of expertise to work in that or done some work. Probably they can take up that problem and arrive at the solution. Then in that case, the industry will be very easy to take it. So this is one thing. So after that, see what happens is in both the cases there will be a product development, and that same technology is implemented. There will be a product development will happen, and marketing will be there. Okay. And of course after that, generally when the revenue starts generating, from the sales and all, and some portion can be invested again in the research work. Okay, and the same revenue probably has provided as incentives to the stakeholders, like in this case the inventors or the institution can also take this stakeholder. So this is possible. This is one kind of a technology transfer process which can happen, which we can think of in the university. But still, see, this kind of a mechanism is available in the like some of the institutions like IITs, ISC in India, as well as some of the world-class universities. But whereas, like now, because IPR is very recently introduced in all the education institutions, now very recently faculties are like started protecting their identifying the invention and protecting under the IPRs. So now obviously like one step probably I mean passing this particular step is a very challenging, especially for the academic institution. Okay, and as I mentioned, institutional IP policies plays a very important role in the revenue sharing models, and as I mean like who owns the ownership and like what is the revenue sharing, and then and should be a supportive framework of faculty center. Students should be some kind of framework should be there. Okay, and moreover your institutional policy should also align with the national innovation policy. Okay, and even Karnataka also innovation policy are there. See, there are some schemes actually which will provide actually the funding support for the research also, research work also. So such schemes can be also used. And startup, as I mentioned, there is a scheme with that. We can use that. I think what I meant, it's a just I have given you just an overview picture, and what I can say, it's a kind of a just overall mechanism one can implement in the institution to have, I mean, which can facilitate the creation of the startup. But very important thing is, see, everything starts with the problem identification. That's very important. So any startup, whatever it may be, because as I mentioned, see, it also poses a lot of challenges. See, the foundation should be strong. Where actually foundation can be made strong? First thing starts with the problem identification. Problem. See, here all the invention, what we do, all towards either arriving at the solution to the existing problem, or it is like meeting the new needs, or making making our life more and more comfortable. Correct? So towards that only the technology will work. Correct? So all industries who are like working on this, they are all working towards that goal only. Okay, nothing else. Probably if the innovation is just like a kind of a fancy thing, then probably yes, of course it will be there in the paper. But if you want to take it to the market, then nobody will be ready to buy it. Actually, suppose in case, for example, some solution you have noted, then already some kind of alternate solution is available. Then also. So the industry also think, okay, it may not be interested to buy some technology. So such kind of situation also will happen. So it is like a kind of thing. The solution should be such that nobody has arrived at such kind of solution. Probably one thing is, see, towards one is the identifying the local specific problems. That is one area. And others like working on the global problem. Two things are there. Approach. So as I mentioned, I mean like the IPR is very important. Why important? See, it gives the right. So any industry tomorrow, if you want to approach the industry, first they will see whether you have IP protection for your thing. If you approach industry or anyone without filing it, remember. Probably your data may leak out if you leak out your idea and the other party may make use of it actually. Correct? That is also possible. That's why very important. First you protect it, then actually you can approach the industry. So another way is you can also look for the industry problem. If you know some industry already, say they are having some specific problem, for really they need some solution. And they are happy to get the solution from you people, then probably you can work towards it. So that's a very easy way. Tomorrow if you come up with a solution, the industry will be very happy to buy it. That's one. So it's all about taking the technology from lab to the market. See, whatever I said, actually the same thing is there in the slide only. So with this, I will just conclude my talk. If you have anything, any question, you can ask. You have any information from here, sir?
We have, so we have our own incubation. We have a cell called IEDC cell. So they also we incubate. So some student startups and faculty startups we incubate. Apart from that, we also have a section company called W.
Section A.
Yeah, section company, W Foundation. So they also we incubated more than 100 startups. It's a part of our management. It's a section company. It's started almost 7 years back. So they we incubated more than hundreds of startups.
So how?
They are more into the healthcare sector.
Where they are located?
No, it's not on campus. It's just outside of campus. So few the people who are here, just 2 years back, so now everything will move. Weekly once the CEO of that foundation he will come and interact us with us. Suppose if we feel we can get and speak to the so we have some I think and support they can do and apart from that yes.
But that is funded by, that is the
It's a government of India. They apply for the
belongs to Dayananda.
That's and also we have IEDC cell. Through IEDC cell also we just every year we earmark some funds. So through that fund also we give some seed funds to the students to develop their projects. So that every year it will happen. So students will get sometimes up to 1 lakh, 2 lakh also will get into their projects. So that it kind of support we get on campus. And otherwise it's like
So have they started generating the revenue?
that revenue, that part is still pending. It's not that good conversion happens, but still they are working on it.
Yeah, I know it's very challenging because as I mentioned, the startup is like it was unlike the well-established company. So everybody works on the new technology, new innovation, find the market. So
suppose if you publish any patent, so you said that 2 types of fees, government fee and some other fee you told me. So generally how much you need to spend?
no, I think for the academic institution, individuals and all 1,600 rupees. Just filing application, okay, and then for examination and 4,000 something like that it is there. Okay, I think within 10,000 it will finish. But in case if you require some fast track mode, okay, then I think probably slightly the price will go up because the additional forms comes into picture. For early publication, form 9 is there. I think if you file it, actually it can be published within a month. It will get published from the date of filing. Okay, so then after that probably you can go for fast track examination. So that is also possible, but provided for that again some additional fees will be there. So with this you can take it to the fast track mode so that you can reduce the planned file period. That's it.
So
But academic fees, it depends actually. As I mentioned, it is like overall, including all the fees, 40 to 50,000.
Some attorneys are taking even nowadays more than
Even more than that. What I'm saying is it's a very, very minimal fee.
we also have a patent consultant for our institution. We have a patent consultant. So there are 2 different consultants. One consultant, his success rate is about 99%. So that is filing to grant. So they ask more than 1 lakh.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because of that success rate. And other patent consultant also there, but they take only nominal fee, but the success rate is very less. It depends as per based on the success rate that they charge.
That is that. It is still success. Are they prompt to tell that whether this invention will qualify or not, because they should not
the filing itself they do rigorous
check, and if anything is not meeting, upfront only they will tell and they will okay.
They will give complete comments.
Because actually even I came to know that there are some few like such people are agents are maybe freelancers. Say what they do, they say, yeah, you will take this money, I will just do this, something like that. So
It's on the established.
that's fine. Then as long as that is fine. Because of course success rate is the one actually how they present it that will attract the
Even the filing itself, they do rigorous review.
No, that's fine.
Simply they will not take it.
That's there are actually SQL calculations but are you like filing sorry, are you claiming any government thing under KSCST?
Kapilani takes every year 100 patents. Every year they take it.
And for startup and SIP scheme is there, only for startup and startup IP protection. So under that actually they give us this one atomic charges, but there is a limitation for that. But till publication or till this only filing and publishing some amount and IPR and decline actually some amount. Some government has defined some amount. So those attorneys will not charge and they will get the reimbursement from the government. But problem is that only a few attorneys are actually like giving that service. Probably you call that Piyush Kumar, I think the name was I saw his
Yeah, he can.
he is also paid yes, he is also provided that SIP service.
Yes.
So any startup in that probably they can also get a service. When he is basically from nowadays what is happening is the inventions in the area of the AI related inventions and computer related inventions. There is I think they have like very recently they renewed the guidelines actually because the computer programs alone cannot be patented. So, but there are computer related inventions can be patented. So, provided that they should be associated with some novel hardware, something is that, and moreover, some anything they should provide some technical enhancement. Show that there is some technical advancement in the invention. So, such kind of inventions can be provided. That was.
To formally conclude this session, I would like to convey my sincere thanks to the resource person, Mr. Vineeth Kumar, for the highly informative and enriching session. Your explanation of the concept of IPR, along with the distinction between tangible and intangible works, provided a clear and strong foundation for understanding the subject. The discussion on Patents Act was particularly insightful and helped us appreciate the role of IPR in fostering innovation, research and academic growth. Thank you once again for sharing your expertise and valuable time with us, sir. Now I would like to invite the head of the department to hand over the memento as a token of appreciation to the resources. I request all the participants to join for the group photo.
It covers them. Thank you.
Thank you.